595, Coleman's Independent Radio. Mark Cohen there with a song called Ghost Train. Most people know his song Walking in Memphis, which I heard way too much of when I was in college radio. And unfortunately, the disc jockeys always made fun of that song. I don't know why, because I always thought it was a great song. But, you know, some of these people that you think have one-hit wonders, you just never know. They have other songs that you almost never hear. And we solved that mystery for you here at Coleman's Live 95. 29 degrees outside, 4 o'clock.
Broadcasting from the Plus One Heating and Air Studio. From a transmitter as powerful as a hairdryer. Hey, we got it on high. This is Live 95, Coleman's Independent Radio, WRJM-LP, Coleman, Alabama.
Yes, I said Coleman, just in case you happen to be tuned in from the national media today. Just never know what's going on. It's 29 degrees outside. That's a lot better than the 17 or so we started out with. And time for the elephant in the room.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, elephant.
Was that him talking to me? Certainly good to be here on such an interesting news day, isn't it?
Yeah, interesting week.
Yeah.
Well, it's just amazing how Coleman County has managed to stay in the news for all the wrong reasons.
Yep, and here with you this afternoon, as is usual, Beverly Little.
Hey, I'm here.
Richard Morris.
And
Howard Rogers. Reading you the news and filling in the blanks and making up what we don't understand.
I was going to say, and making up what we don't know.
But we have some really good sources, though, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. It's amazing how many people were aware of some shenanigans with the Hanceville city and police force.
And it makes you wonder why they didn't say anything, or did they, and it gets swept under the rug.
Yeah, I think that's the big question.
Apparently all you had to do was have lunch at a Hanceville restaurant. You could have heard an earful. So.
Yeah,
I think so.
Isn't that how it always works?
Mm-hmm. The next table over.
And in case you haven't heard,
there were 5 police officers and one of them's spouse, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That were arrested.
Yep.
For various charges. Do you know what they are, Beverly?
Yeah. 18 grand jurors indicted them, and they were arrested from everything from physical evidence tampering to computer tampering, solicitation to commit a substance crime, using the office for personal gain, and it just goes on and on.
Wow.
And I want to remind y'all, we have something you've been wanting for years and years on this show. You have a caller. We have Sherry from Hanceville that's ready to go whenever y'all are.
Let's go.
Well,
hey, Sherry.
How are you?
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, we're doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Are you warm?
I hope that we're all here to talk about Hanceville and the position this town has been in for over 20 years. I hope that's where this conversation is going.
That's where it's going, Sherry.
Yep. All we've seen is what's on the surface, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like to start off by saying I have family that lives in this town, in the city limits. I live right outside the city limits. We moved here from Jefferson County in 1981. So I feel like I have been in Hanceville long enough to be able to speak about it. For the last 20 years, we have suffered through poor leadership in the police department as far as from the chief. We have suffered through corrupt leadership in the mayor's office that ultimately led to an arrest, a resignation of Mr. Kenneth Nail, who, by all accounts, is a fine person on his own. He made poor decisions in the leadership position that he was elected to,
so
and he let a lot of people down.
You don't think he did anything criminal?
Well,
I
want to think that he done some good things for people,
I'm pretty sure
and some
he
good
did,
things for Hanceville, because I knew him. And I'm not to say that we were drinking buddies. I'm just saying on casual conversations, we knew each other.
Okay.
And just talking to the man, you would think that he had a lot of respect and admiration for Hanceville. When I started hearing rumors about some of the things that there were allegations about, I will just say initially I didn't want to believe them until I started seeing things for myself and asking more people. In the beginning, when things are going wrong in your town, like the church, you don't want to openly talk about it because you don't want to be the one accused of starting something,
right?
And you definitely don't want to be targeted.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I would like to make sure that the listeners of this show understands is I'm not looking to be targeted. I am just looking to share my opinions of what I've seen that's took place within this community, and this is a fine community. I would have moved out of it if I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Now, you have an idea when, where, or how it all came to happen?
The downfall, I feel strongly, started with a former chief, Bob Long.
Now, gosh, y'all had several chiefs in the last 10 years, haven't you?
Yes, sir. We have the one that just got fired. We have Howell that came before him. He came on after Bob Long up and quit in the middle of a work session, or retired, or quit, however you want to say that. So,
right.
It was unexpected how Bob Long left, and so then Howell took his place. And then a few months later, Howell did the exact same thing. Him and his son jumped ship, leaving the recent chief to get himself arrested and incarcerated. But you're asking my opinion, and I can tell you what I know. Mm-hmm. And it's been probably 10 years. Me and the pastor of my church, we absolutely went to the Hanceville Police Station, asked to talk to the chief. He carried us to his office. We sat down. He wanted to know what we wanted to talk about. And what we wanted to discuss was that there had been members of our church that had been affected through the use of heroin and dying, where you get I don't know if it was fentanyl back then, but, you OD and die. And we were wanting to address that issue with the chief because we knew the person who was selling it in Garden City. They lived right across from Garden City School and First Baptist on the same street, right at the end of the street. And we wanted something done about it. We thought, naively, that the chief of police in Hanceville didn't know that one of the biggest heroin dealers in Coleman County lived right there in Garden City. Even though I know it's Garden City, Hanceville still patrols down there. And we thought we were telling the chief something he didn't know. And it turns out the chief knew exactly who we were talking about, and it was his position. Once again, Chief Bob Long, so there's no miscommunication here. Chief Bob Long's position was that he was not going to arrest the dealer because he got so many arrests from those coming to buy. Because he would have an officer down the street. There would be someone that would take the license plate tags numbers of those coming and leaving, and then they would get their arrest. So it was in his mind, he would rather keep the person in their place and just go and arrest those that were coming to buy the product. That was his position.
Yeah, that was keeping him in business, right?
And also helping him get lots of arrests.
They take these arrests and they file it with the federal government, and depending on how many arrests for violent crime or drugs, that's how you get your funding back into the department. That's how you get paid, by these arrests. And Bob Long did not want to stop the person from selling it. Because he only wanted to stop those that were buying it so he could get those arrests.
Oh, wow.
That's sort of like hunting a baited field, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
It is.
I have to wonder, so the new chief, when he came in, I don't know how long he'd been there, I'm guessing 6 months or less, But once you know something is going on, how do you get to the point where you don't report it?
Mm-hmm. If it's
I think what happened here, because there has been some turnover in this department, I believe there was a couple or at least one officer that came to us from Bluntsville.
Yep.
Bluntsville itself, I mean, the city auditor, the clerk, they're all under the mayor and the chief of police are all under investigation for the audit problems that they have. Right. Recently, the chief of police just resigned from his job over there in Bluntsville. So I think what happened, starting with, and I'm going to throw him out there under the bus, Bob Long. When he came in, and it was his culture that he brought into that department, it was a soured culture. Like I said, in my wildest imaginations, I never imagined that the police chief would look me in the face and say it's in his best interest to not arrest the person that's causing others' deaths. Now, I get that people go and purchase these drugs and take them. I get that. But if you know who the person is that's selling them, at least take out that person so those that are having to go buy it, they either are going to have to stop, find them another dealer, or maybe meet the Lord, go to church, talk to their mama, hit their knees, give them an opportunity to come out from underneath that devil.
But at least he didn't even
he didn't even want to do that. He just wanted to keep making his arrest.
Wow.
All right, let me jump in here for a second. I'd like to do a little housekeeping, since I'm kind of going to be the moderator today. We have a substantially higher listening volume online, and I heard the call waiting going off a little bit earlier. So I'd like to let you continue until about 4:20, and then we'll hang up and we'll give other people a chance to call in. If you'd like to tune in on Facebook Live and post comments there, I will share those with the listening audience. And the number is 256-737-9505. I hear the call waiting going again. So we'll let you roll. We encourage you, if nobody does call in after we drop you at 4:20, call us back, okay?
It's 5 minutes.
Okay, absolutely.
5 more minutes.
So I guess what I would like to get out there is there are some poor decisions that have been made. There are many people's lives in Hanceville directly that has been affected by the corruption, the cops, the arrests that they make so that they can get those numbers. I get that these arrests right here are, they were using their steroids and selling amongst themselves or doing whatever they were doing. Mm-hmm. But there's so much more to this story.
Yep,
the corruption in the cop itself that has been working for that department, the lives that have been destroyed by investigations that have took place by these same cops that you couldn't trust at your grandmother's house. You couldn't trust them to come to your grandmother's house, but they are the ones in charge of these investigations against other people that has cost them years of incarceration. I know so many stories that I don't have the time on this one show to share, but what I want to share is this. We have an opportunity now to make the changes that have been needed in this department for over 20 years. We used to have a fine department in Hanceville. In the 80s, when I was there, we had some fine folks. And people would stand up and stand beside their officers then because we respected them. Mm-hmm. There is an opportunity today that we could have that once again if you put the right people in the job. Now, I know that Mayor Jimmy Sawyer just an hour ago made the determination that Matt Gentry and the Sheriff's Department would be the one patrolling down in Hanceville, and that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. If we were to ever bring back our police department, we could not hire not even the custodian back from the crew that they have right now, from the dispatchers to the custodians to the reserve officers and every officer. You can't bring back a poisonous apple. Like in criminal justice, there's a term called fruits of the poisonous tree. Mm-hmm. Everything that comes from that initial act of illegality, everything that comes from it or comes to it is poisonous. It's the apples that falls to the ground from the poisonous tree. We can't bring any of these people back. Mm-hmm. Let them go find someplace else. Go to work for the chicken plant. Go to work for Jack's Restaurants. There's plenty of jobs out there. But what we need to bring in is integrity. This is not about having a cop come in that's ready to bust somebody's heads. That's not what we need in Hanceville. What we need in Hanceville is cops with integrity.
As our good
and
former
if they were
president
to open up
would tell
applications, I would put mine in today.
As our good former president would tell you, learn to code. But, I mean, they were arrested for computer tampering, so maybe they're already in on that. I don't know.
I wonder what the pay scale is. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but a lot of times you get what you pay for.
Well, that's true, but I have a feeling it's like a lot of places, most of the police are from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you really can't do a thorough background check.
No.
Sandra, we'll give you a chance to close out, and then we'll let some other people call in if you'd like.
Well, what I would like to see done is those that have been affected by the actions of these officers, those that have been arrested here recently, those that quit their job so that they didn't get arrested in the past, I would like to see some closure for these people that have been affected so that the bad feelings that let's get it out, and then start back new, if they allow us to even have back a police department. But if we were, and I get that the pay is probably not the greatest, but it comes down to the people that would be willing to take that job, and I know that there are people out there that would take that pay and would take that job and would do it right and with integrity, in the hopes that they could build back trust in the community that has, at this point, been completely shattered. Who would trust anyone in this department? I myself don't trust anyone that's worked there in the past 20 years. Not one. Okay. So that's what I would have to say. If they opened up applications up there for Matt, for Hanceville, I feel so strongly about the words that I'm saying, is I would go and fill out an application myself to become an officer in the city of Hanceville, in a place where I grew up, have spent my whole life, graduated from Hanceville, graduated from Wallace. I am a member of this community, and I care about this community, and there are others that feel the same as I do, and they would be proud to take that job, and they would do it right. And that's what I think needs to happen. We've got to clear all of this out, all of these bad feelings out, get these bad people out, put them in jail, do what you have to do in the jurisdiction system, justice system, and let's fix this for Hanceville, for the people, because we deserve it.
Wow. Super, and we appreciate you calling. And, hey, we're here every week on Thursday.
We certainly do appreciate it.
Yeah, and if we say anything that offends you later, call us back. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to try to catch y'all on Facebook Live, and I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to come on the show and voice my concerns. And
absolutely.
God bless everyone, and I hope you get home safe this evening.
And I nominate Sandra for mayor. Mayor of Hanceville. Okay. Thank you, Sandra.
All right, so I just looked this up. We were talking about the pay scale.
Yeah.
For officers in Hanceville, Alabama, ranges from $45,000 to $86,000 per year, with the average being $58,741 per year.
Can't get that at Jack's.
I know. That's higher than I thought it would be.
Or the chicken.
And free drugs and free computer access, but not anymore.
And maybe even guns.
Pharmaceutical plan. I will say, and let me go ahead and say this again, 256-737-9505. Apparently there's some interest in the show today. Woohoo. Matt Gentry has been on, not necessarily this show, but he's been on our radio station before, and the last time he was in here might have been during COVID, but they were drastically understaffed. Like, he was having a hard time, I think, making all the calls that they were getting. So this is... I hope that situation has improved. I hope Matt will come back and talk to us soon. I think that's in the works.
It is.
Yeah, I'd like to have him and our district attorney back same time. That would be a good.
Yep.
And I must also say I don't have a single complaint to say about Champ or Matt. And I will go answer the phone.
No, me
either. No.
Yeah, and as she alluded to, Hanceville says that Coleman County Sheriff's Office is temporarily taking over the police jurisdiction of Hanceville.
Well, that was a smart move, I think. Well, regardless,
it's
just
a constitutional requirement.
Is it?
Effective as of 5 p.m. on Thursday. That's now.
Yep.
Today.
They don't have any choice.
You know, it would be interesting to know about all the officers that have left that job and why they left.
Right.
And I
because if they were honest and just couldn't deal with that, level, then they probably did.
I think Kay Ivey has the right to appoint a chief for that city if she wishes.
So we have Denise also from Hanceville ready to talk.
Hello, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
Hey.
Go ahead.
I think we have Denise.
We don't.
We don't. No, I don't hear her on the radio either.
I will go talk to Denise.
Hello.
Oh.
Yes,
Hello.
she is.
There we go. Okay.
How are
Hello?
you?
Yes,
Hey,
Denise.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, I'm making sure that y'all can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. Yes, I am from Hanceville. I've lived here all my life. I went to Hanceville School. And I've been listening to this story, these cops, these policemen.
I may have known what was going on. You may have had us on the radio instead of the phone. I've heard this on bigger stations. I didn't know what happened here, but you might turn your radio down because I think it's a little delay from the phone. So.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, big delay.
It's on,
Yeah.
It's on
anyway,
the radio.
well, I thought it was live. I was watching something, but it doesn't.
If you have your radio on, you're interfering with our feed.
Okay, how about? Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm trying here because I'm really passionate about this here in Hanceville.
Okay.
This is my hometown.
Yep.
And y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is my hometown. And I lived here all of my life. I went to school here. I have raised my family here. Sherry, I agree with everything that you have just said. I've been listening. And maybe I was listening to the radio. But I'm telling you, officers, mayors, Hanceville has been corrupted for so long. The drugs that has been going on here, yes, has been going on for so long. But not only that, a situation with my son from two cops. Policemen are supposed to also protect and serve and help us
Right.
and be our friends. My son went to one of the officers that was before. And he ended up being a chief before this chief that is just got indicted or whatever. But the officer before this one, he knew. My son went to him and told him his story as a friend, but instead he ended up turning around and having to report it. So my son ended up being charged with a criminal. And it's going on today with everybody, these young kids. This is terrible. This boy had never been in trouble in his life. He's lived here all his life and never been in no trouble. But he went to the officer, and the officer turned it in. So now my son
that is
in
corruption of the
prison
worst
now.
kind.
Yeah, it is. That corrupts the community. You can't
My
trust
son is
your
in prison
police.
now because him and a girl. But you know what, people? This is happening today, every single day. He went to jail, and he stayed there in Matt's jail for 8 months, but he got out on bond. Guess what? He was out on bond for 7 years. 7 years.
Before the trial came up, right?
So, excuse me?
That was before the trial for whatever he was arrested for?
Yes, that was before the trial.
That's what I figured.
That was before the trial. He was out on bond for 7 years. The judge, he wasn't convicted. He was just charged, see? And the judge put him in my care. For 7 years, that boy worked and stayed in his yard and done what he was supposed to do here in Hanceville. He done what he was supposed to do. And Marlon, which is the chief, was the chief, was also, what was that?
No, I just agreed with you. That's who you're talking about. Okay.
Was also one of the cops that did a welfare check for DHR, supposed to be saying that everything was okay, but the next minute, you know what happens?
What?
My grandson is taken from me, and my son.
Oh wow!
When a judge puts someone under your care and he's done good for 7 years, and then they want to take your grandson from you and your son just because he slept with a girl? People, come on!
Yeah, that's happened a lot, hasn't it? I mean, that people sleep
And
together.
you know what? For 7 years, y'all, let me tell you, it shouldn't change. Now, should it? If you're going to charge somebody, for a crime, right? It shouldn't change in those 7 years if they're out on bond. Should it change?
I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to weigh in on that.
I don't know either. But
Well, guess what? Do we got Champ Crocker? Do we got the district attorney? Do we got Champ Crocker? Because let me tell you what, even today, I got video of some policemen down here. I know a lot. I know a lot.
Okay.
But let me tell you, prisons are killing our people. They're killing them. And they're feeding them bad food. They ain't got heat. They ain't got air. And all y'all had to do, all you even have to do even now, put my son back in my care and let him have a life. Why? People are doing this today still.
And
but
maybe
not even registered as a sex offender.
Maybe what you need is to find another attorney, but we're at a point where we've got to take a break and sell some space.
Yep. Thank you for the call. 256-737-9505 if you'd like to chime in on this. I had something I was going to say, and I think my words have left me. I know DHR, they've had some complaints levied against them. That's a hard job to do. I'm not sure that's the first job I'd run out and try and do if that were me. Kudos to, because it's tough. I mean, what you've got to do, and I mean, I'm sure it's not necessarily subjective as much as it is objective, but I wasn't there, not sure. You're right, we got to pay some bills, so we'll be back in a minute. 256-737-9505. What a hot show today.
Go Tees Screen Printing and Embroidery can get your name and logo seen all over town, whether it's hats, shirts, jackets, or hoodies. Go Tees Screen Printing and Embroidery can hook you up. They also have promotional items like pins, cups, koozies, bags, and more. Does your club, team, or school need a fundraiser? Go Tees Screen Printing and Embroidery can set up an online store for you. From concept to completion, Go Tees can take care of all your promotional needs. Go Tees Screen Printing and Embroidery. For more information, you can visit www.shopgotees.com. That's GOOTEES. Go Tees Screen Printing and Embroidery. Are you ready to make your next move in Coleman? Hi, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Angela. We're not just realtors, we're a family dedicated to helping yours.
We're not just about buying or selling property. We're about building connections within our community.
From local schools to charity events, we're active because we care about Coleman.
When you use us, you're not just getting one realtor, you're getting a team working around the clock for you.
With our experience and expertise, we'll guide you through every step of the process.
We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group.
We make it happen, you make it home.
Plan on flying? It's time to upgrade to a Real ID. Because in order to board domestic flights, your driver's license or state-issued ID must be a real ID, or you'll need another acceptable form of identification. So don't wait. Find out how to get your real ID at tsa.gov/real ID. That's tsa.gov/real ID. Or visit your local DMV. And then you'll be cleared for takeoff.
Okay, welcome back to the Elephant in the Room, 256-737-9505. Glancing at the Facebook comments, a lot of people agreeing, having sympathy for some of the callers that are in those situations. Not a lot of disagreement, just a lot of sympathy for the situation. Not a lot of sympathy for the officers, I might add.
Well, let me make one statement about DHR. If they come out and take that child, everyone gets really upset. They took a child from its mother. They took a child from its daddy. If they don't go out and take that child and that child ends up in the hospital or worse yet dead,
right.
Sometimes DHR can't win.
Well, and I have worked with a number of those kids and DHR, and I can understand there were a number of cases where that was the right thing to do. There were also a number of cases where I ended up feeling it wasn't the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like you, I wouldn't be running down and signing up for the job.
No.
No.
Inevitably, keep in mind there's always two sides to every story, and sometimes both sides are right. And secondly, most of the time you don't hear about what a good job they're doing. You only hear about when people are unhappy with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was delighted when somebody emailed us last weekend and was like, "Oh, we love your music mix, but by the way, why did you change the format?" And they didn't realize that we were just doing a special for one weekend. You never hear about the good stuff. Yeah. You only hear the complaints.
So what's really going on in Hanceville?
Well, hey, I want to add this. I didn't know this. It said the grand jury toured Hanceville Jail on February the 2nd. And they have zero confidence in the Hanceville Police Department's ability to maintain a jail or to meet basic health and safety needs of jail personnel or inmates.
So that pretty well goes along with what both of those ladies said.
Yeah, but what is it the city's job to make sure they maintain the health of the people that work there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, are the people that are arrested?
That are arrested, the inmates.
Yeah, now that's different there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the death of the former Hanceville dispatcher is kind of what started all of this.
That's right. They overdosed, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that there had to have been rumblings before, but that's probably what kicked it into high gear.
But when does the police department go out and examine jails and workplaces when one of the employees ODs?
They don't.
No, there had to be more.
I think there have been a number of complaints over the years anyway.
We have seen the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Well, and if you look, there were two of the city clerks, I guess, that one of them was charged with embezzlement and I think she's been allowed to pay most of it or all of it back. But that says to me the oversight is not very good, because she managed to get over $200 and something thousand from Garden City.
Where do they get that money?
Without being, well, that's what I'm getting at, without being identified and arrested before that.
One of that was in the grand jury's statement, too, that said the Hanceville Police Department has abused public trust by its failure of oversight, lack of leadership, and negligence.
Well, and I really think that's because we've been sitting here wondering about how do we solve that problem. It's one thing to say, okay, we'll just put it under the sheriff's department, but could have the same problems. I'm not saying they do, but they could have, unless there is adequate oversight.
Hey, Matt Gentry, tell us how it can work.
I mean, maybe that was my staff is short, so, we're short-staffed, so I don't have the ability to do everything I'm supposed to do. But, I mean, come on. As soon as you see fraud or something going on, I mean, and what would the process for that be? I mean, typically, let's say you have an officer-involved shooting, they automatically bring in the state law enforcement. So there's got to be some kind of chain of command, I would think, if you can't. I mean, I learned this from watching the Dukes of Hazzard in the 80s. I mean, if you can't trust the county sheriff, you got to go to the state guy, right? So.
Right.
Well, I believe one of the officers that was arrested for not reporting all of this.
I think that was the chief.
Okay.
So, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And if you've got 4 officers that are problematic, that are breaking the law and not acting the way they should, then the 5th one out of 8, didn't you tell me there are 8 officers down there?
There are 8 total.
Okay.
You know, when you got half of them that are lined up against you, it's hard to say, no, I'm not going to do that. But that's the right thing to do.
One of the biggest reasons for embezzlement, I think, is they feel that they're underpaid. I wonder if they thought they were underpaid and just thought they'd take a little here and a little there.
But all of them didn't. They had a gambling problem. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what they said the issue was, but anyway, it could be a number of things.
Well, none of these people were charged in the dispatcher's death yet.
So, are they suggesting that the fentanyl, I think was what it was, came from the property room?
Yes, or came from one of those officers.
Somebody used a broom handle to open the door to the property room.
Well, and I've heard, I heard from somebody yesterday that broom handle has been there, and that hole in the wall has been there for over 10 years anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I heard that direct allegation, but it was certainly implied on multiple occasions that, you know, this guy died at his desk, and the drugs just happened to be from the evidence room, and do the math.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why I was wondering, how often do they do an audit of the property room?
So that leaves you to wonder. I'm sorry to interrupt your question there.
No,
go ahead.
Obviously, you know, was that just a serious accident that he had access to, or was there nefarious things going on?
Well, it appears that nefarious things have been the operation of the day for 10, 15, 20 years.
And
yeah, from what our first caller said, it sounds like it's been at least 15 or 20 years, but that's her opinion. I don't have any evidence to say.
No, we don't have any evidence of any of it. So.
And again, if I were a Hollywood Law and Order producer instead of a lawyer, I would wonder, what did he know that they didn't want him to report? You know.
Well, I wonder if that's where the computer tampering comes in. If they were supposed to log in 11 pounds of something and they logged in 7 or 9 or and then that way it would not be, even on an audit, they probably would not catch it.
Nope. If it never made it to the property room, it will never show up
in
on
most places, though, evidence is seen by 2 people.
Yep. All right, now I will say this, and it's going to be very unusual for me to say this because nobody in Coleman has said this in a very long time, so listen carefully. You won't hear it again for a while. In that press conference that was given yesterday, I believe Champ mentioned that there were significant more details in the indictments or in the affidavits, and that they were on file at the courthouse. I read all of the local coverage last night, and again, it pains me to say this, but the Coleman Times had the best write-up, had the most detail. And, you know,
wonder where they got that.
That's impressive.
Because I think the reporter actually went and did the work.
No.
Okay.
You think the Chamber of Commerce issued that to
the reporter was Patrick Camp, and I know he's done quite a bit of reporting for the Times. I don't remember all the details, but I would encourage you, if you want more of the details, especially, I may just look it up here in a minute and read it to you.
I've heard that
a lot of details.
Indictment was on Facebook. I'm not sure but I haven't read it. So it would be interesting to know just all what they found and what they were saying. You know, this really needs to be addressed.
It's unbelievable. You know, Mayberry just took a hit, didn't it?
It sure did. It did. Well, and you know, this being an ongoing problem is in Hanceville and Garden City and at Bluntsville, too.
Let's blame it on Tyler Road, and he works at Wallace.
There you go. Okay.
Well, I didn't say Wallace was involved.
Give me about 60 seconds to read through this, and then you can comment on it. I looked it up. 4 Hanceville police officers, I won't mention their names, and 1 other spouse have received more than 24 grand jury indictments for their involvement in what jurors described as a criminal enterprise and an ongoing threat to public safety. Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry and District Attorney Champ Crocker held a joint press conference Wednesday, February 19th to discuss the indictments, which include tampering with physical evidence. Crocker said his office was currently working through ongoing cases but involved evidence held by HPD. So I'm thinking that second caller might not have much to worry about, but did not feel comfortable. He's already been in jail for about 8 years, she said. So,
yeah.
But did not feel confident about prosecuting cases where evidence has been tampered with. So yeah, that'll definitely be a problem down the road. We'll skip that paragraph naming all the names. The revelations came after an investigation by the Alabama State Bureau of Investigations after the death of Hanceville City Police dispatcher. He was found dead at his desk from an apparent drug overdose on August 23rd last year. Prior to Wednesday's press conference, Coleman County Coroner Jerry Kilpatrick released the results of Willingham's autopsy, which stated he died from combined toxic effects of fentanyl, gabapentin, diazepam, and some other things.
Only one of those is illegal.
Okay. Crocker said the investigation revealed a missing cinder block on the exterior wall of the HPD evidence room, granting unfettered access to unauthorized personnel. Crocker declined to discuss any of the details of Willingham's death, but a statement shared by the grand jury said it was believed to be the direct result of HPD's negligence, lack of procedure, general incompetence, and disregard for human life. One of the officers was also charged with 2 counts of failing to report ethics crimes, which, according to court records, involved these guys. According to the indictments, these guys solicited steroids from another guy on a number of occasions in 2024. This other guy then used his patrol vehicle, this is the detail I'm getting into that I was commenting on, to travel to a hospital, unnamed, where he illegally obtained steroid shots from this guy's wife. Not sure how that came together. Another guy is also charged with distributing hydrocodone, illegal or legal, Howard?
That's illegal.
It's legal, but it's not when it's distributed by police officers.
It's a prescribed drug.
Gotcha.
You can't buy it on the street unless you got
to another guy and yet a third guy, which I'm also not going to name. The third guy has been arrested and charged with receiving stolen property previously connected to a vehicle theft operation back in September of 2024. Court records also show that Wilbanks and this other guy illegally accessed Spillman's Records Management Database, which is a secure record system used by law enforcement for personal gain. This other guy allegedly accessed police records relating to an ongoing murder investigation into murder suspect or victim on October 21st, 2024. This other guy was charged with the murder of a missing person in October of 2023. This is getting to be a tangled web. This other guy is also charged with using the law enforcement tactical system to look up an unnamed individual's vehicle license, which was then provided to one of the officers named in this indictment. This other guy allegedly accessed the Spillman database on September 16th, 2024, to gather information on a Jane Doe. I didn't have to change that name. And again on October 9th to gather information on yet another John Doe. One of the indictments said that he then proceeded to provide the information to 2 unnamed co-conspirators. What are we allowed? 10 people now?
The hooligans of Hanceville.
Wow.
Because of what it was described as a rampant culture of corruption, the grand jury recommended that the HPD be immediately disbanded and have an outside agency tasked with policing the city of Hanceville. Gentry said there is not. I was going to skim and see if there's anything that hasn't been reported, but I'm almost at the bottom. Gentry said there has not been a formal recommendation from the Hanceville City Council to have the CCO step in. Bev, you're saying that changed today, right?
It did, yes.
But that has been the preliminary discussions with the Coleman County Commissioner and Hanceville Mayor Jimmy Sawyer. I feel sorry for Jimmy. Attempts to reach Sawyer by phone on Wednesday were not successful. I'm sure they got they got plenty of busy signals or just not answering. In a prepared statement released by the city of Hanceville, he said the city of Hanceville is committed to providing its citizens with the best possible community. What he did not specify is as evidenced over the last 6 months. Our city council, public works department, fire department, parks, we don't need to read the rest of that. The rest of this is about, that's only a paragraph more. As mayor, alongside city council, I assure you we will continue to fully cooperate with all investigations and authorities of people of Hanceville to serve full transparency regarding the extent of these issues. Council will carefully consider the recommendations, act swiftly, et cetera, et cetera. We deeply regret the narrative, the negative impact, I read narrative, which has had on our community and the hardworking cities of our city. And I will add, P.S., welcome to the national spotlight. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Which national
CBS was airing it today.
Great.
And I saw it on ABC.
So, okay.
I haven't seen it.
It will probably be on the national news tonight.
It will.
Oh, what a lovely bit of news about Coleman County.
Yep.
Well, you know, the thing that scares me the most about that is that they were able to have access to computerized information for personal use.
Yeah.
Whether it was illegal or not.
Yeah, it sounds like they just did their own thing.
Nobody
was watching.
I wonder how many places in...
How many cases is this going to affect? How many has Champ got to retry or get thrown out of court?
Right.
And what interested me the most about it is all of that they were able to piece together. I mean, you know, somebody had to go back and dig all that up. I don't know, video footage, vehicle records, where they've been, GPS. That was a lot of work.
Now see, and that they had to pay all those people to do that work. Why didn't, if they had just spent the money to have somebody audit the property to do background checks on all new hires and, you know, that related things like that, I don't think that would have happened.
And
at least not at the same level.
If there
not
were
to the extent it did.
Right.
If there were a suspected violation, could they not have asked the officers or the chief to be placed on administrative leave while they investigated? Why was that not done?
Right.
Why did we? And maybe they tried, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not guilty of anything. Get out of my office."
Yeah, this was a grand jury indictment. This wasn't a fly-by-night thing, so there was a lot that went into it.
But we had to get to this point in order to be able to remove all those people.
Right.
Well, that's right. I guess the beauty, or you know, maybe the
being in the government. Is that what I'm hearing? Bigger picture?
No, of a small town.
Well,
it's kind of out there, isolated. Nobody to bother you to do whatever you want to do. It'll be okay.
Also, a lot of that happens in big cities too, Howard.
Yeah.
Especially where they can mine for information on the computer systems, because they were able to access secure files.
Yeah, but if you're small and don't make any noise.
Don't make any waves,
Well, and that's why they might not even check or might not find it in a big city, because there's so many checks and people looking for information.
Well, I'll tell you what let's do. We are at 4:48. Let's go ahead and take another about 60-second break. Let's also listen to the news, because they'll probably have some updates. When we'll come back, we'll have about 10 minutes left. 256-737-9505. All 15 of you watching on Facebook, type in the chat box. I'll share what you have to say. And we'll be back in a minute.
You can save money and help the community all at the same time when you shop Victoria's Hope Thrift and Treasures. Victoria's Hope is a non-profit thrift store that has been serving Coleman County since 2018. Name brands and unique items at extremely low cost. All shoes, clothes, and purses are $3 or less. Victoria's Hope is open Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and Sunday from 12 until 5. You can visit their Facebook and Instagram page for more information on the nonprofit and weekly deals for the community. Victoria's Hope Thrift and Treasures, 230 U.S. Highway 278 West, just west of the interstate, past the Dollar General on the right.
Thanks for listening to Coleman's Live 95. It's time now to check our regional news from the Alabama Radio Network.
With another ARN News update, I'm Jim Faraday. The Senate confirms Kash Patel as FBI director. The vote 51-49. Patel had strong support from Alabama Senators Tommy Tuberville and Katie Britt.
It's an exciting time for America because we get to take politics out, let the FBI get back to doing what it was intended to do, making sure that we keep Americans safe, we put criminals behind bars. Kash Patel is the man for the job.
Senator Tommy Tuberville says Patel is going to clean up the FBI and ensure our government works for the people again, not the other way around. New information about the corruption case involving the Hanceville Police Department. Court records show officers injected and distributed narcotics to themselves and others while on duty. An investigation found that many people had unfettered access to an evidence room. An emergency dispatcher died as a result of drugs taken from that room. The chief and 4 officers are facing charges, along with an officer's wife. A grand jury concluded the department has a rampant culture of corruption and recommended it be abolished. Another Arctic blast is on the way. A cold weather advisory posted for the entire state. The Weather Service says wind chill values tonight will drop to near 0 in North Alabama and into the teens across South Alabama. Cold weather or not, it's Mardi Gras season in Mobile. The Order of Polka Dots parade through the streets tonight. These members tell WALA this year's theme is Seeing is Believing.
A perfect game if you're a bowler or a leprechaun or fairy godmothers, angels, devils, exactly, pirates, aliens, mermaids. So
things you have to see to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
The members say they're not concerned about the weather forecast, noting that in the past the crew has paraded in sub-freezing temperatures. I'm Jim Faraday.
And you're up to date. Around your world, around your state. This is the Alabama Radio Network.
Okay, welcome back to the Elephant in the Room. I'd like to remind you, if you only caught part of the show and you want to hear the rest of it, we are available on Facebook Live, on our Coleman's Live 95.5 Facebook page, or in podcast form. You can go to live95coleman.com, go to On Demand, and all of the major podcast platforms are listed there with links to all of our shows. Once again, here's Bev, Howard, and Richard.
Greetings.
We are back.
Well, we've had an interesting conversation today.
Yeah, but the conversation's not nearly as interesting as the situation that we're discussing.
Right.
and that it is a small part of a much larger problem that
I'm
just
sure
Coleman County.
It's kind of like that iceberg, the tip of it you see floating in the ocean.
Right.
And all that's under the ocean.
Yeah, how big is it at the bottom?
Yeah, I just said that a lot of people are shaking in their boots today. There are a lot of former police officers or former officials that are wondering if their name's going to come up next.
Yeah. Well, and Howard, you made a comment during the break about as a police officer, their job it requires that they turn in other people.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So they're in trouble either way you want to look at it.
Right.
Well, seemingly that's what got the chief for the most part. He was supposed to report and he didn't.
Right. Ethics violations and not reporting it.
Well, that's right up there with the number one search term in Washington, D.C., which is apparently criminal attorney. So.
Okay.
And
be prepared.
Okay.
For good reason.
This will be a long, drawn-out issue as well. It's not going to just come in when all them lawyer up and have a trial. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to get thrown under the bus.
And I suspect there's going to be a lot of lawyering for people that are in jail now saying, hey, the reason we got convicted was because they used the broom handle to get in the evidence room or whatever. Right. And if that's been destroyed and they can't prove otherwise, like I say, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to go with what can happen. But I think it's going to keep our district attorney busy for a while.
Oh, yeah.
True.
And not in a good way.
Well, it's one of those problems that I think, just look at New York City back under the Tammany Hall and multiple other politicians and the police and all. Bribery and or malfeasance by...
Yeah.
People it's a problem, and it always has been.
And I was shocked at the salary those people were making. That was shocking. What was it, average $58,000?
Yeah.
That's not a small amount of money in Coleman.
No,
okay, so according to one source, it says these people that were arrested have been placed on administrative leave. So they have not been, quote unquote, fired.
And have not been arrested either.
And they're still collecting their checks.
Right. That's what I'm wondering, if they're going to be on paid administrative leave or if they're just going to be, that's a question.
Suspended.
Right.
That might be a better way to go. I don't know, but it might be.
Well, either way, are they getting paid?
Right.
Are they suspended? Are they on administrative leave? But are they getting paid?
Yeah, and why haven't they? Well, I guess their due process, that's part of... they have their due process, but still.
And I think the legal system is trying to make sure they keep their ducks in a row.
Right.
Well, that's
one misstep.
I've known Mr. Crocker for a number of years, not forever, but for a number of years, and he's a meticulous individual.
He is.
I think he'll have those ducks in a row.
I think he's probably spearheading this whole thing.
I think that's why it came out. That's a guess.
Right.
I'm not saying anybody else,
And here's something else I see that said it included on-duty drug injections and use.
Oh, steroids.
Yeah, I guess that would be the steroids she was talking about. That may be where the wife comes in. I don't know that, but it's just an assumption.
I don't know, is she a nurse or what?
Well, if she works at a local hospital,
she does, yeah.
Then she's got access to medication.
Yeah, and steroids, they're not easy to get.
Right.
But somebody had to be able to get them.
Well, they were all surrendered. They all surrendered to the Coleman County Jail, and they were all released on bond.
Okay. Well, and that's something we need to remember is just because they've been accused of something does not mean they're all guilty or
any of them are
guilty. Right.
They're innocent until proven guilty according to the law.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why they didn't surrender to the Hanceville jail. I mean, I'm sure it was more convenient.
Yeah,
well, it wasn't comfortable enough.
That broom handle might have been within reach.
Yeah, on one of the newscasts, they're saying Hanceville residents say they are not shocked by the police department's indictments.
Why hasn't anybody...
Yeah, see something, say something.
Right.
See something, hear something, say something.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that
again,
they did.
I think they have been for a while, and it just took this long to get where we are.
And sometimes people are real quick to say, well, I don't want to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sure, because of targeting, retribution.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, if you get them arrested and they're convicted and put in jail, you're okay till they get out. But if you get them arrested and not convicted and they come back, you got to make sure that you move out of the Hanceville jurisdiction.
Yep, and never go back.
And the blue boys and girls stick together, I promise you.
Well, they have to.
Sometimes maybe
past the
to a fault.
To a fault.
Yeah.
Well, that's true too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one about the murder investigation. Now that's like you said, it's going to go back into a lot of their cases, and
yep.
a lot of digging is going to be done.
We got any calls or messages, Jay?
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
I think.
I'm thinking
you'll see us next week.
Assuming we're not in an igloo and we're not supposed to be 70 degrees next week.
Right, yep.
We have with us
Beverly Little,
Richard Morris,
and I'm Howard Rogers. Y'all have a great evening.
Have a great week.
Broadcasting from the Plus One Heating and Air Studio.
You're listening to Live 95.